The great engine of growth that is China has spurred the explosion of a middle class, a group who obviously is going to down the line possess formidable buying power and drive global growth into the next decade, if you believe that story. But what are we talking about when we say middle class in China? We use the term very, very loosely and just kind of fling it all over the place. Well, some people have tried to nail down the parameters. McKinsey, the management consultancy, defines it as households earning over $15,000 a year, U.S. equivalent. The Chinese government classes them as families who earn between 9 to 70 or so thousand. That sounds like a pretty wide swath there, okay? Given the range of definition, China's middle class has been estimated to stand anywhere from 150 to 300 million people. A couple years ago, Euromonitor estimated there were only 80 million. All right, some of the statistics there. To further understand this phenomenon, help their clients and partners target this a lucrative market. Here in Hong Kong, our Trade Development Council commissioned a survey that's going to be released imminently. We got it first here, thanks to them. It tracks the likes, the dislikes, the motivations, the aspirations of the PRC middle class today. And HK TDC economist Pansy Yao joins us on the show today. Pansy, welcome.
Hi.
And I know you've met Lawrence already.
Hi.
Main findings are what? Who is the middle class? What do they want? What do they really want to spend their money on? And what kind of things do they think about?
Well, as you say, the definition of middle class is very loose. So, but we use our understanding is mainly based on using the benchmark of family income. Mm-hmm. So, in our own survey, we use the benchmark of family income above $7,500 a month. Mm-hmm. We'll use this as a benchmark to find our own consumers. And then we find out that the average for all our interviews is about $10,000. So it's pretty good in China, taking into account of the cost of living there, the average salary level there. And we find these people mainly are the beneficiaries of the economic reforms because they are well educated, they have good career, they are, many of them work in the foreign enterprises, or they have their own companies. They're engineers working in the IT sectors, etc. And these people, they now have great exposures to the international world. They surf on the internet to read about the latest news of the overseas market. They have the chat, the social website to talk about what's happening and what they like or what's the latest trendy things, etc. And these people, they're very confident. That's why we find them have the ability to spend and they're willing to spend. Because sometimes when we find people, they have the ability to spend but don't want to spend, there's no market at all. No. But these people, they want to spend and they can spend.
Okay, so this is an educated, able, well-traveled, global thinking. I mean, they're not, they're not stuck in the old ways.
Sure.
They don't believe the propaganda. They know that realize it's a one-party system and all that stuff. But it, into exact change is going to take a long, long time. They're global and they're aspirational. What about their spending habits, though? I mean, what are they? What are the number one, number two, things that they don't have, which they really want to have? Because I think most of them already own homes, don't they?
They have most of the things at home nowadays. Yeah. But now they want to have the trendy things, the latest models of electronic gadgets, the famous brands, the handbag, the watches, etc. But one common thing among them, because in our survey, 70% of them said, I want to try or own those things that are popular or trendy in the market. And they want to discuss or share the experience with their friends. So these give us a very good opportunity to, target at these people because they want to try everything new. And not only buying the clothes, the watch, etc. They also want to enjoy life because they find that now in China it's already very competitive. They have work pressure as well. So after work, they want to, just have fun or go to gym to relax, etc.
Forgive me for saying this, but we're all for the pursuit of happiness. But this sounds like it sounds like a big me generation. It sounds like I need this, I need that. What's in it for me, sort of thing. Do they have other things that they care about, or is that not part of? Was that outside the parameters of this survey?
I think they can have whatever they want and they can buy because they said that I don't care or I don't mind too much about the price as long as I like the products. I want to have that. And they're so confident, as I mentioned, that they think that, okay, I can spend a lot of money on this, but tomorrow I can find this money back. So they don't mind, spending on expensive things. They travel a lot to overseas here.
Lawrence, we're talking about a lot of people here and a growing middle class. If all they want is the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and the latest Louis Vuitton or Hermes bag, I see some trouble down the line. What about you? Or am I just...
Well, that's basically the whole atmosphere in China today. I mean, Deng Xiaoping said to get rich is glorious, and that's become sort of the national mantra. And I think that, everybody is pursuing materialism. There's a term in Chinese, 货币崇拜, which is to, worship money. And I think this has become basically the mindset of people. Yes, they're online. Yes, they know about international news. They are able to get a picture of the world, but their, sole motivation now is material accumulation. And I think this is, and of course you're absolutely right. Many of these people simply couldn't care less about burning money because money is, for them, always there. I mean, you have a cyclical situation, a sort of biosystem of, on one hand, it's not the multinational corporations. If they're working for semi-state real estate companies, there's a huge amount of fat and corruption in the system, and there's a lot of cash. It's a cash-rich society. And so in many cases, it's not a question of how much it costs. It's a question of you buy the price. I mean, if it's not expensive enough, they don't want to buy it. They want to be seen to be spending money. It's a face thing. This is creating a generation that has no values other than getting rich and showing off that they're rich.
Yeah, I agree with Lawrence. Face consumption is very important. But I also find out one thing is very important in these surveys, because now they're mature. They may not only buy the very famous brand, not only the Loewe bags, etc., but they can also find something they find, okay, this design suit my taste or fit my style well. So that they can mix and match, not necessarily only the very big famous brand, but they are now confident enough to have their own style and taste. But of course, they still want to have the famous brand products to just enhance the achievement or the status.
This is part of the maturation of growing up of a society, though. I mean, when you went through a generation as a have-not, having the have, is the first order, and then you move on to more altruistic. It's sort of the the pyramid of needs.
The question is, what's going to happen next? That's the billion-dollar question.
What is going to happen next? In 15 seconds. What is going to happen next?
China's facing now a massive population that's going to be getting older. The healthcare system can't support that. And there is no substantial healthcare pension fund system, and the environment's being destroyed through all the consumption. So sure, you can have Louis Vuitton bags and you can have fancy cars in your driveway, but we have bad air. We can't breathe the clean air in China.
Okay, we'll take that up later. Pansy, thank you for joining us for these findings, okay? Pansy Yao from the HKTV.